welcome to this Excel tutorial on working with Excel data. In this video, we'll see how to sort data, how to apply filters to data, how to create both basic and advanced data tables, and much, much more. Now let's look at these topics one by one. I have a data sample here with the list of students and the scores they secured. Here I want to first apply a sort function to sort the entire table based on the name of the students by alphabetical order. To do that, what we have to do is select any of the cells where you have your data, and go off the Data tab. Here you have three options. Sort. One is ascending and the other is descending. Now I want to sort it by the full name in ascending order. So you put your cursor here on full name, and then click ascending. Now you can see that the sort has been applied, and the full name of the student has been sorted in an ascending order. Similarly, to sort it by descending order, you can select the next option, which is descending. So you click on it, and now the entire data has been sorted using the full name in a descending order. Similarly, you can apply the same sort options to the total scores of the students. Let's say I want to sort it by descending order. So I'm going to click this option, which sorts the data in descending order. Click on it. And now the data has been ordered in a descending fashion as we wanted. These are some basic sorting options. If I want to apply an advanced sort, say I want to sort this data by the full name and also by the scores. So here the requirement is to apply two levels of sort, by the full name and by the scores. So to do that, select the range where you have the data and click on this sort option. When you click it, a sort dialog box will open asking for what column to sort, on what values, and in what order. So as per my requirement, I'm going to sort it by full name in an ascending order. So I'll select A to Z, and my next level of sort would be Score 1. So add level, select the column name, the Score 1 by values, and I want it in a descending order, with the largest scores first and then the smallest. So select it, and you can even add other levels. Say, for example, I want to add Score 2 as another level to sort by. So you can keep adding more levels, select Score 2, and again order it by largest to smallest. I'm going to click OK, and let's just see what the sort function does here. Okay, so now you can very clearly see that the first level of sort was sorting the student's name in an ascending or alphabetical manner. The second level is Score 1 in a descending order, and the third is Score 2 from greatest to smallest again. All three levels of sorting have reflected here. And this is one of the most useful features where you can sort your data using one or more sort values. Next, we can look at filtering data. What is the use of filtering data? So here I have just 12 records of students. But let's say I have a huge amount of data with something like 20,000 student records. And in that case, if I want to find just one particular student's record, it's not possible to scroll through the entire data and find the student required. And that's where filtering comes into the picture. So to apply a filter, all you have to do is click on any of the cells in the header and go to Data and click on this funnel, which stands for the filter option. Now you can see that a small drop-down button has appeared in the header line. This is the filter option. If you can see it here, I'm going to filter it as per region. So I'll click on the drop-down, and it clearly shows you what all the filtering options are that are available here. Let's say, for example, I want to filter out only the first student here, Agatha Christie. So what I'll have to do is click this drop-down filter icon, click on the Unselect All option. By default, filters select all the options or records available. Here I want to select only the first record here. Click on the First Students checkbox and click OK. Now you can see all records pertaining only to that particular student are listed and others are hidden. This is the use of the basic filter option. You can also apply multiple filters here. So let me first unselect the filter. And to do this, what you can do is go to the option called Clear, which clears the filter option. So click on the Clear option, and now the data is back without any filters. Now say I want to apply more than one filter, like selecting only the North and Northeast regions. We can select it, and say furthermore, say I want to filter for the students in the North region and Northeast region whose score was a full 100 marks. So we select 100 and click OK. The data displayed is now filtered as per your requirement. And this is the basic filtering option. There's one more filtering option called the advanced filter. Let me show you how to use it. First, let me clear the filter here. So to use the advanced filter, let me go ahead and add or insert blank rows above the data. Here I've inserted it. And now here I'm actually going to write down all the filters that I want. First, you go ahead and replicate the header. So copy and paste the header. And you list down what are all the filters that you want to apply. For example, I want to filter students from the East and West regions whose scores, for example, are 50 and 50 for both the scores. And also apart from this, if a student from any other region has the complete score 100, I would want to include that as well. So I have 1, 2, and 3 levels of filters here. Now I'm going to take this as my filter criteria to then filter out the selected data here. So to do that, select the Advanced option here, click Advanced, and it'll give you two choices. Either to filter the list in place, which means Excel will filter the data and show it in the same space as the selected data range, or if you want to display it at another location, for which you select Copy to Other Location. For now, let me select the Filter the List in Place option. Next is to select the list range. It is selected by default. And in case it's not selected, what you have to do is put your cursor here and drag and select the entire data, and it's done. The next thing you have to do is to select the criteria range for how to apply the filter. Here my range is these particular rows. So select the range, and then if you want to show only unique records, you can click it. For now, I want to take all the values, so I'm clicking OK, and let's see what happens. You've applied the 3 levels of filters. One is students from the East and West who have a total score of 100, and students from any of the regions whose total score is 100. So this same filter criteria is reflecting in the data here. So only students from the East, North, and South regions are listed because we don't have any students who have scored 50 and 50 in the West region. So we have a record from the East, and the next 3 records here are not in the regions filters, but are there because of other criteria here. Having a total score of 100, irrespective of the region. So because of this third filter criteria, the rest of the 3 records are listed. And this is how the advanced filter option works. Next, let us move to how to create a table. And let me do all the operations and get back to the original dataset. So this was my original dataset. And now let's see how to create a table using the data listed here. This is my data here. And if I want to create a table, I can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-T. Or I can go to the Home tab and insert a table. So I'm going to click on Table, and it automatically selects the range where the data is present to populate the table. If not, you can also select the data manually here. And I'm going to select this because my table has headers, and click OK. And now you can see the blank data has been converted into table format. How do I check if all the data is in table format? If the data is in the table format, you would automatically have one more tab additionally listed here, which is the Design tab. The Design tab is to design your tables. So by default, my table name would depend on the number of tables which have been created in this particular Excel workbook. Here, the table is number 4. If you want to change its name, just click here, delete the default name, and choose a name. Let me call it Student and hit Enter. Now you have successfully renamed the table to Student from the default name. Now what's the use of renaming a table? Say you have a multiple number of sheets, and you're working on a number of different tables within these sheets. If I want to get back to the student table which we had created, I can easily access it by clicking on this name box, where it lists all the tables which you create. You select the student table, click it, and it will take you to the sheet where the table is located. This is very helpful if you're working on multiple sheets in a particular Excel workbook. And by default, my table is of this design, However, if you want to change the design, you have various table styles here. So you can scan through and select a design of your choice. And also you have other options like remove duplicates. So if in this entire table I want to remove any duplicate records that may exist, then I'll click on Remove Duplicates. So all of the data which has duplicates will be removed, leaving behind only unique records and deleting its copies. So here in the data, let me check if there are any duplicate records. And here, 1 and 2. You can clearly see that the data has duplicates with the same ID, name, and scores. So let's check if one among these two records is getting deleted so that only one unique is retained. To check if it gets deleted, I'm highlighting it. And now I'm going to go to the Design tab and click on Remove Duplicates. When you click on the Remove Duplicate option, a pop-up box opens asking in which columns I want to remove the duplicates. I would want duplicates to be removed from all columns. And by default, all the columns are selected. So I'll click OK. And now you get one more pop-up saying one of the duplicate values was deleted, and the remaining 11 records are unique. So out of the 12 records, there was a pair of duplicates. One is gone now, and the other one was retained. Click OK, and you can clearly see that out of 2, one is gone now. So your number of records was initially 12, and now it's 11 after the removal of the duplicate record. And this is how the Remove Duplicate option works. If you would want to again get rid of the table format and get back to the data range format, all you have to do is go to the Design tab, click Convert to Range. It's going to ask whether you want to convert the table to a normal range, and you select Yes. And you see that your table format has gone now. And you no more have a Design tab which was there earlier when this was a table. Let me now revert and get back to the table format. Okay, the next function is inserting slicers. The slicer is a very useful function, which allows us to filter the data visually. So rather than using the filter option for filtering your data, you can add a more visually appealing slicer here. And to do this, you click on the Insert Slicer option, and a pop-up box opens asking for what data you want the slicers to have. So for my data slicer, I want to take the criteria for region. So select region. And if you want more than one slicer, you can also select it. Say for instance, I want to select 2 slicers, one for region and one for total score. Click OK. You can see that automatically the 2 slicers which you had wanted are appearing now. Just drag and drop it to the location you want. And here, if I want to filter the data region-wise, say for example, only East, so you click on this region filter, and automatically, since the data does not have students from the East who have scored below 55, only 2 records are listed. And if you only want to select students who scored 100, select 100 here. So based on these 2 filters, my data is filtered automatically. So if I want to again filter the data only by total scores and not the region, I have to clear the region filter. So this is the option to clear filter. Click on the option, and now the filters of the region have gone, and only the filter of the total scores is remaining. Similarly, if you want to apply multiple scores as filters, we have to select this option here, which is for multi-select. Click on this and select more than one filter. And here I've selected 3 filters. And you can select more too. So these are some interesting features of Excel: the table and slicer functions. Also, if you want to delete a particular slicer, just select the slicer and hit delete. Automatically, it's going to get deleted and disappear from your visual pane. So lastly, we're going to look at how to resize a table. Before we proceed, I'm going to unfilter it. So click on any cell of the table and go to the Design tab. You'll find an option here called Resize Table. The Resize Table function removes or adds columns to the existing table. Let me show you how to add additional rows to the table in addition to the data which we have here. To do that, we click on Resize Table, and this will automatically select the existing range for resizing. And what I am going to do is I'm going to increase the number of rows in the table. So I'll select the new range. And as I make the selection, the Resize Table entry is also increasing. I'm going to select 20 rows here. Select it and then click OK. Now you can see that in addition to the existing rows of the table, 5 more rows have been added. And this is how you add rows to a table to resize it. Now let's say I want to reduce the number of rows in a table. Then I would have to again select the Resize Table option. Select your new range. Let's say I only want the first 10 records. So you select it. Click OK. And now you can see only the newly selected range is in the table format, which show the Design tab enabled. And the other rows have now been removed from the table. So if you're going to click here on the other rows, you're not going to find this Design tab or the Table Design options, since those rows are not a part of the table anymore. And I'm clicking on the other records, and you can see that we don't have the Design tab or the table formatting options. These are some of the most basic and useful functions when working with Excel data. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.